Oh no.
Walk away. Shit.
Okay.
Thanks. But who the hell are you? Everyone I've encountered so far in this godforsaken place has tried to kill me.
I'm...
Silent Hill
Alicia.
feel? Yeah, it's kind of
I
like
don't even know where to
Silent Hill
begin.
monster,
just...
but suddenly
I
it's
don't
like
know
magic.
how I got
but
here. Someone brought me to this place while I was unconscious. I've been trying to fight my way out. I think these people... They have my daughter. It's like... a cult, I think. They're all crazy.
Yeah, didn't take me long to figure that out. Well,
What is it? Wait,
my name is
that
Paul.
character looks a bit
I guess I
familiar.
ended up here because I'm looking for someone too. My partner was kidnapped. Circumstances suspicious. Seems like he was connected to some weird religious group. I kept following all the leads I could. Became obsessed, I guess. Paper trails and a slew of missing persons reports brought me here. I had to hijack a police helicopter from my department just to get out of here.
Wow, you
He's
flew
a police
here?
officer?
So... You have a way to get out of here.
Sure do. I suppose I can take you with me if you want. But I'm not leaving here until I find out what happened to my partner.
Okay. Thank you so much. You know, I'm starting to think if we work together, we might have a chance to stop all this madness. And maybe you can help me find my daughter in the process.
Sure thing. How old is your daughter? Tell me what she looks like?
I don't know anymore, honestly. So much has happened.
Hey, that's alright. We'll find her. I promise you. Here, take it. You saved my ass back there, and you look like you could use some firepower.
Thanks. I wish I would have run into you earlier. You're a good shot.
Well, I'm a good shot if I'm not placed up against those things. Glad I spent all that time on the department range. It comes in handy. You seem to be a quick learner yourself. Especially if you've stayed alive by yourself this whole time. That is impressive. Try and stay alive for me, would you, Alicia? I'll be seeing you.
Weird cutscene, but it's fine. Five months earlier, somewhere in Florida. Okay.
Jesus. Oh. My head.
That
Nothing a
rug.
dog can't fix. Now, where did I put that damn whiskey?
This rug looks like, you know, some Silent Hill kind of rug. Like all those medals, like wrapping around it. More like, okay, so they do a first-person thing. Okay, this does. Oh, awards don't mean shit. Okay. Thanks.
And now, tonight's presentation of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
I used to like to listen to these
Tonight,
kind of
the
thing.
story
I
of
got
several
scared.
hours spent by two people in a deserted bus shelter, and the slow realization by one that the other is quite mad. So now, with Joyce McCluskey as the woman and Vic Perrin as the man, here is tonight's suspense play, The Shelter.
I wish that they have a subtitle for this though, so that we can listen while searching the room.
Now, if I remember right, the bus stop is just around that next bend.
That's right.
Yeah, there's a shelter there, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah. Here we are then. Sure you don't mind walking when it's this dark?
Oh, it's quite all right. I'm grateful to you for having brought me this far.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
Well, good night and thank you.
Just a minute. You never know what
What
these
the heck?
things are going to be.
He's like, what a night. There might be some people killing his own entire family right now. What the heck? What was that?
Tourists are warned to be on the lookout for would-be hitchhikers and to report any to the highway patrol.
How about that?
This person may be dangerous. A description of the escapee will be broadcast as soon as it's available. And now, back to our music brought to you at this hour by...
Hey, that's bad. Maybe I'd better not leave you here on your
I'm
own.
afraid you'll have to. You're in a hurry, and I do want to catch the midnight bus.
You're sure you'll be all right? The bus won't be long.
Well, I'll just walk along to the shelter and then stay there, out of sight.
Well, now, if you're sure.
Thank you once again.
Well, it's quite all right. Good night, then.
Good night. I watched his car turn off onto a side road and fade into the night. Then I walked ahead, towards the bus stop. It was farther to the shelter than I thought. The car passed me, slowed, and then stopped 100 yards or so ahead. I could hear a door slam as someone got out. Then the car turned around and came back past me. I suppose its headlights dazzled me. For a moment, I could see nothing but pitch blackness. Then I saw the shelter, like a cave in the dark mountain of trees behind. The light was out. Still, the shelter was inviting a way to get out of the night. So I went in to wait for the bus. It was unbelievably dark in there, like walking into a fold of black velvet. I could see nothing at all.
Hello. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm waiting for a friend.
oh, it's quite all right.
I didn't mean to frighten you.
It's all right.
There's a seat here. A bench along the wall.
Thank you, I know.
You know?
I've been here before, waiting for a bus.
Oh, I see. You can find the bench all right?
Yes, thank you.
Ah, yes. You're sitting down now. The other end.
You must have extremely good eyes.
Yes. Yes, I suppose so. You've become accustomed to the dark after a while.
Yes.
You know about the eyes. They say that the way to see objects at night is to avoid looking directly at them.
That's very interesting.
They say that the human eye is made up of things called rods and cones, although I can never remember which is which. The rods, or the cones, whichever
Might as
it
well
is,
get these
are in the
files
middle.
out and take a
You
look.
use them for looking at things in an ordinary light. The rods are on the outside, and you sort of look sideways with them at objects at night. I'm not boring you.
No. No.
I'm interested in facts, are you?
Well,
I get them from the Digest, you know. Great place for facts.
I expect so.
Practically all I read. What's the use of reading if you can't talk about it, eh?
Well, I agree.
What I've been saying, they all read the same thing. You can't tell them any facts they don't know. I like to talk. But when you start, they say, we know. And of course they do. They think you're mad or something.
That's very discouraging.
Yes. Especially when you're an old chatterbox like I am. Are you a good listener?
I think so.
That's good. Because as I say, they wouldn't listen to me. You've gotten up.
Well, yes.
Where are you going?
Nowhere.
Then why did you get up?
The seat is a little hard.
I thought perhaps you were going outside to walk around.
Well, as a matter of fact, I thought I might.
Then my conversation does bore you.
No.
I think you'd better stay here, in any case.
What do you mean I'd better?
Because it's not safe out there.
Not safe?
No.
What do you mean?
You don't know? It was on the radio?
What was?
Then you didn't know.
Well, no.
About the lunatic?
Lunatic?
One of the inmates from the asylum up on the hill.
You mean one of the patients from the hospital?
That is perhaps a kinder way of putting it. But just the same, they might be dangerous. You'd better stay here, with me, where it's safe.
He's the lunatic, isn't
What
it?
did the radio say?
I didn't listen too closely, just that there's been this escape. But we shall be all right here in the shelter. That's right. Sit down again. What was I saying before?
That you were interested in facts.
I expect you smoke.
No, I don't.
Oh. I was wishing I could offer you a cigarette, but I don't smoke myself.
What was that?
It's the branch of a tree tapping on the roof. Happens every once in a while when the wind shifts.
Oh?
Yes. I've read some interesting facts about drinking in the Digest.
So what do we do now?
People become addicts. Yet the solution is quite simple. They should invent another habit to counter the bad one.
That sounds like a good idea.
I have all sorts of useful habits which make up for my having no vices. Counting things is one of them. You understand what I mean by counting things?
Well, not exactly.
You take wood block flooring, for example. How many blocks would you say there were in a floor 40 feet by 15? Never mind working it out. I can give you the answer at once. It's 1,470.
Fancy.
In the same room, there are 10 iron bedsteads with rails, top and bottom. If there's a knob at the end of each rail, how many knobs altogether? No, don't try to answer. In this room, 3 of the beds have a knob missing. So the answer is 37. That's exact knowledge. Counting things is the only way of coming to exact knowledge. Mathematics will let you down every time.
Oh, okay.
I was never very good at math.
Approximation, that's all it is. This fellow Einstein knows that. Yes, I've read all about Einstein and the others in the digest. They're theorists, of course.
Yes?
I'm a practical man myself, and I believe in counting things.
Did you walk to the door and back again?
You couldn't see me?
I could hear your voice come and go, and I thought I saw your shadow at the door. I wasn't sure.
I knew you couldn't possibly have heard me walking.
How?
I took my shoes off. They squeaked.
Oh?
Also, it isn't natural for human beings to wear shoes.
Perhaps it isn't.
When you wear shoes, you bang down on your heel too much all the time. This jars the brain. As a matter of fact, there's a lot to be said for not walking upright at all. Oh, there's that tree branch again. It squeezes your entrails all together. It's better to walk on all fours like animals do, so the internal organs hang freely inside the natural protective cage formed by the ribs. I read an article where it said that most of man's ailments...
His voice went on in the darkness. And as it went on somehow, even uneasy as I was, I stopped listening to him. I could hear another voice out of the past.
Where's the key?
Years ago. It was a loud voice, and I could overhear it from outside the window. It was talking about me.
Did you notice? She just walked out on me. What's the matter with that child? Surely she's not afraid of me.
I don't know. Perhaps she is.
But that's ridiculous, Martha. I was just talking. Now, what was there to be afraid of?
What were you talking about?
I don't know. Nothing much. You know the way you talk to kids.
Yes.
Well, then she got up and walked out. She looked scared.
Perhaps she's abnormally scared. I've noticed it before.
Of me then.
Sometimes when the thought is different. Strange, Albert. Seems to have started shortly after the accident.
For goodness sakes, Martha, it's been 2 years.
But she's only 12. She'll grow out of this strangeness.
Well, I sure hope so. Hey, what are you whispering for?
But
Well, yes, and you still are.
I get the feeling when she goes missing the way she does, that she hangs around, listening to conversations. I have a feeling she's listening to us now.
You do?
Yes.
I really hate this session.
Outside the
Like,
window, I'll take a
seriously.
look.
No, Will, don't be afraid.
Like,
That's
the
worst thing
camera
you could
bumps
possibly do.
around too much. And it's kind of disorienting. Like, even the human, when they walk around, they don't
As
bump
always.
that much.
Although Mother always seemed to know when I was around or near. Just as I always knew when she'd gone out, even though the house was so big you couldn't hear the closing of a
I'm
distant
kind of
door.
interested in the story, but I just wish that it has
True
like
what
the
Uncle Will
subtitle
said, I
so that you
was
guys can
afraid.
see that also.
I was scared of his voice talking on and on. It was the same with all men's voices except my father. And of course he was dead. Then in the shelter, all these years later, I was listening to another voice talking on and on. And each time it seemed I couldn't get away.
Look at that.
Where would I run to?
Alicia Wallace
Out in the dark highway?
murders her own kid and husband.
And if I did get up and
What?
flee into the
This
night,
world is full of crazies.
how did I know he wouldn't follow me, overtake me?
She killed her child and husband?
Back. And sitting down is bad, too. One should recline in a tilted forward position. I try to do it whenever possible. So I have to admit I'm finding it very difficult on this hard wooden seat.
Yes. I should think so.
Perhaps you think me eccentric.
Or I did seem very sensible.
They're facts. That's... Oh. I startled you.
Yes.
I was sitting at the other end of the seat. It didn't seem sociable. I forgot for the moment that you can't see anything. I must have startled you.
You're touching me.
Well, so I am.
Take your hands off me.
Well, I was only trying...
Go away. Go away.
Be quiet. Be quiet, you little fool. I said be quiet. Be quiet.
You are listening to tonight's presentation in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense. There's a daytime edition of Gunsmoke on most of these same stations, in addition to the regular evening show. Both third Saturdays
that's
of the
it?
Star's Address. This Saturday, every Saturday, hear two stories of Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, on Gunsmoke. And now, we bring back to our Hollywood soundstage Joyce McCluskey and Vic Perrin in tonight's production of The Shelter, a tale
Oh.
well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Looks like all the signs are pointing to Fog Island.
Wolf Island.
Guess I better go and check it out.
Then I heard the tree branch tapping on the roof. The stranger was gripping my upper arm so tight it hurt and bruised me.
I'm
I'm
kind
sorry,
of interested to see this, but it's taking way too much time. I'm going to
But
leave.
you screamed. Why did you scream?
I was
You're not
I'm
afraid
kind
of
of
me,
interested
are
on it. If only you have subtitle, I will probably sit down on the chair or something, listen to it. It's kind of interesting for what it is. Oh, did she just gave the... And then the dude doesn't return the bottle? That's kind of rude. Level piece.